Howdy folks, friends, family, YouTubers, shirkers, lurkers, workers. Just going to go for a quick little ride on the Honda to give it a bit of a run. It hasn't been run for a short time, so I'm just going to go for a little bit of a blat. Not sure whether I'll stay on the peninsula or go a little further afield, but we'll see how we go. See you shortly. Howdy folks, just getting my kit on, taking the mighty Honda. What the hell is going on here? I would have thought that everyone would be at their holiday spots by now. I really can't understand why there's so much traffic. Buckwork. Don't feel like going back the way I came, there's too much traffic. Go down a long Grand Drive. Lost count of the amount of houses that I've wired in this area. Couple of show homes. Many new residences or customers. Hello, officer. What are you doing just sitting here? This is just a general, right around the general area. This is Grand Drive, which if you carry on just leads down onto the motorway. I'll turn left here, which takes us over the bridge into Millwater. Lost track of the amount of houses I had something to do with in here. I didn't realise there was shops in there. Mind you, I've only been this way a couple of times. I do know the cops quite often sit down in here in this parking bay and catch you coming over the top of this hill here. Hiding behind that tree there in the parking bay. You can hardly see them when you crest that hill. So all these townhouses that are joined together, there's literally, I don't know how many of them were done. They were all done by Horncastle Homes in Christchurch. We supplied all the electrical services for them. They're just absolutely everywhere in here. There's got to be 100 of them. All of these. When I was still on the tools, I did about, I think it was 20 houses for Fletcher Homes in here, in the early stages of this subdivision. It was one of their housing companies, I can't remember which one it was, Sierra Homes, I think. They boxed the company up, stuck it on the top shelf once they got to the 20th house, because not one of them had sold. It's always tough, the first handful of people coming into a subdivision. Nobody wants to be the first. So yeah, me and an apprentice, 12 months work, 20 houses. Because they hadn't sold anything, that dried up. This is sort of the industrial end. We've got Mighty Ape and Mitre 10 and a few others down there. It's unbelievable how quick this area filled up. I don't really even know what area they call this in here now. It's on the back of Silverdale. We've got Kawasaki behind us. No, he's turned off. This is the very edge of the housing before we drop down into Silverdale. Silverdale shops. This is the old segment of Silverdale shops. I think they call this Silverdale Village. When I first moved up here, this is all that was here. Mind you, even here's built up a little bit more. crazy little hand covers that woman's wearing to keep the sun off her skin. Asians are really allergic to sunlight. Might take you for a little jaunt out along the peninsula. Peninsulas can be a little bit of a pain in the arse when it comes to traffic, because it's generally, like this one, pretty much only one way in and one way out, although that's going to change. So it can lead to a fair bit of congestion at times, but for every other purpose it's a brilliant place to be. During summer, if it's blowing a gale on one side for the beach, use of a beach, you go over the other side and it's dead calm. You've always got choices. All the beaches around here are quite shallow, so they're very safe for the family. Bit of a pain in the arse for launching a boat, but most of them are alright. Most of the beaches are alright, most of the boat ramps and stuff. So this area is Stanmore Bay. Got a new subdivision that's just opened up above my house, right in there. Stanmore Bay down in there. That large expanse of water is Whangaparaoa Bay. Whangaparaoa actually means Bay of Whales. We sometimes do get orca coming in here. I have observed in the past female orca relying on the protection of a nice quiet little bay. While they nurse and let their calf get their strength before they move on. So this is the new interchange that's happening. There's a whole motorway going to be going through from here right across the Waiheke River on a brand new bridge, and then a bit of motorway continuation all the way to the northern motorway with all new on and off ramps and so forth to try and ease some of the traffic problems that we now have on the peninsula because it's growing up so much. So this is the main commercial area of the peninsula. Numerous businesses along here. more commercial. Then we've got our main shopping mall up there, coast. Used to be just the plaza. So that's the top end of the plaza. It's a glorious place on a good day. Views all the way down to the city. There's Whangaparaoa out there in the distance. They just don't look pulled out unexpected to give way. So just down in here on this side of the peninsula of the Arkles Bay, that's an awesome family beach. Can be too popular in the holidays though, and in summer. As the sign says, Little Manly Beach. That's a good little beach as well. The little township of Manly shops. New home are going in. Tyndall's Bay. Just down here is the narrowest point of the whole peninsula. You got water just here on this side. Can't see for the houses. Matakatia Bay. And very end of Tyndall's. So quite a narrow strip of land just here. Just up here, if you turn right, that takes you to a couple of subdivisions that overlook Hobbs Bay into Gulf Harbour. Just up there. We'll drop down into Gulf Harbour. So those who have never been up this way can have a bit of a gander. It's got a lot of good points, but it's too far out. I've done a lot of housing out this way when I was still on the tools. All that green area you can see out there isn't a subdivision. That's all Whangaparaoa Golf Club. Now down in the sort of centre of this development, there was protective covenants. All the roofs had to have terracotta tiles on them. They were after that Spanish sort of look. Once you got away from the actual centre of the township, you were able to have a bit more choice. But you can see everything around here has got terracotta tiles. Give it that exotic look. Wentworth Private School. We'll go down towards the boat ramp. That's the township proper there. You can see all these lucky sods that have boats at the bottom of their yard. Some units in the back there that had access directly to the water as far as a marina, a jetty allocated to each of the homes. So you sat in your back garden and looked at your boat. This is the main part of the marina in here, surrounded by a few businesses to support the marine industry here. The hard stand. All up there's that subdivision that I was just saying just before that overlooks Gulf Harbour. There's a couple of them up there. There's our boat ramp. Now just along here is the commercial part of the marina. That's where all the charter boats have piers and berthing. It's also where our ferry leaves for the trip to town. It truly is a beautiful area. All the way down to Auckland there, you can just make out Sky City. I'm not sure if this camera will show it up. Looks like some rocks from that seawall have fallen in. We've got the entrance to the Wade River just down over there. Down a little further we've got Long Bay, just part of the bays, you know, Browns Bay, Murray's Bay, all that sort of thing, right up to Long Bay, which is where the nearest regional park is. Nice. What a lovely day for it. Now, I don't know how they've managed to get away with it, but a lot of the motorhomes have overtaken this end of the boat car park. Very busy in here today. All the holiday makers. That's our boat ramp. Oh, there's some money in there with boats and tow vehicles. All the boats waiting their turn to get in. A lot of these properties in here are rentals. If you had a boatload of money, it'd be a cool place to live. You had a boat and you could secure a marina right outside your unit. If you were lucky enough to have a unit that was at the water's edge. Unfortunately, I can't go in there to show off the facilities. It's pretty much a closed community in a lot of ways. The original plans had things a little more open, but I don't know how they managed it, but they've managed to keep it a little closed off from the public to try and make it exclusive. Set of shops, some more shops, and there's a few restaurants and stuff over there. I won't go out there, but if you turn down there and carry on all the way out, there's some beautiful big huge homes on some big plots along the cliffside that look all the way down to Auckland City. Absolutely magic place to be. That there is the defunct clubhouse. This used to be the Gulf Harbour, what they used to call it. It was an exclusive golf course. Very similar, based on the similar sort of principle as the American courses, where you joined for a large fee every year. In its early days, when it first opened, it was host to at least one golfing World Cup. Now it's in a state of disrepair. Clubhouse was abandoned and vandalised. Used to attract the unseemly crowd, so they've dismantled it. They've got the machinery in there and demolished it. So yeah, sad demise of a very, very upmarket facility. But I think their expectations were a little bit high. The yearly membership fees were astronomical. For those of you who have never been up this way before, I'll go a little further out along the peninsula. Can't go much further. The very end of the peninsula is owned by the government. It's all army land out there. There's a bit of farming goes on, but most of the land out there belongs to the military. They've got barracks and everything out there, training ground, rifle ranges, all that sort of thing. So this is part of the Shakespeare's Regional Park area. On the left is Army Bay. Quite a popular beach. Nice spot of the Weathers playing ball. And then this area here, this is Shakespeare's Park proper. Very, very safe beach. It's almost flat all the way out. Whangaparaoa Bay, part of Shakespeare's. Got a few facilities out here, picnic tables and everything, plenty of trees for shade. Very, very safe beach. The views all the way down to Auckland. Now just up here on the right there's a turn off for those that are interested in coming up here. There's a road on the right hand side here that goes up and over the hill to a camping ground, but there's also further on there's actually a parking area and a big fence. There's protected birds and all that sort of carry on. You can go through the gates if you want a nice long walk and you want to see something spectacular. You take this road here, go out through the protection gates, and you can go for a walk out along the farmland. There's a couple of lookouts, and if you're keen enough to go for a long walk, you can actually almost get to the very end of the peninsula. You can get to the water's edge, and you've got the whole of the Gulf exposed to you. It's an absolutely magic place to be. The views are fantastic. Well worth the walk. Oh, so that's my lovely home. Very fortunate to live in a very special part of Auckland. Very, very lucky. Mostly cliffs along this side, just on this stretch. Wellington Reef is just down there somewhere. That's a big rocky area that only exposes itself at low tide. At high tide it's hidden. You've got to be a little bit careful down there. The area is slowly growing up. Considering this was considered a long way away from Auckland and it was mostly batches here in Orewa, it was all batches with only a tiny number of permanent residents. Nowadays it's nothing uncommon to see small batches getting bowled and having fairly large homes put in their place. So the area is slowly growing up. Areas like this have helped. This is obviously the top edge of Gulf Harbour. It's the Peter Snell Youth Village. Still a bit of land around. Batteries are now in the red. Might have enough until I get home. I'm only 5 minutes away. If not, thanks for coming for a little ride. Having a wee peek at my surroundings. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment. Love a comment. Enjoy your New Year's holidays. Thank you for your company. And we'll likely see you on the next one. You stay right there, pal. Nice signal, thank you. Not. There's a lot of stupid motorcyclists out today in shorts and t-shirts. They'll only do that once. That's push bike attire.